Good morning, everybody. Hi. Just gonna get all the little machines happening here. And 1, 2. Uh-oh. I think I've got my volume on this one. Okay, let's not do that. We always have so much fun with everything every morning when we first get started. It's like, okay, here we go. And yeah, I need an assistant. An assistant for my live stuff here because I'm actually pretty good on the computer most of the time, but not all the time. That's so funny. Anyways, okay, so it looks like we're good. So hey, good morning. So what we're gonna do is we're going to just get things ready here. I'm trying to work with my my new laptop, and I think I might have it figured out. Okay, so it looks like we're good. So hey, good morning. Oh, okay. We just need to. We're going to. Okay, we're on. We're good. Okay, I will totally get used to all this. Hi everybody. Hi Darlene. Hi Jane. Hi Kathy. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're gonna do something kind of fun this morning because it's hot. It's gonna be hot today again, and so I'm gonna make this up, and then there will be no cooking tonight, which is awesome. And I do also have been making salads, which is really awesome too. But I always like to have, I don't know, I like to have a sort of a main meal, and maybe, hey Darlene, good morning. Maybe it's because we don't eat meat, so I like to have that main dish, that main thing, and then salads around it. So this is the main dish. So that's what I work on, and I have my little my new little bracelet here. It's actually little elastics for tying up the tomato plants later today. Anyways, yeah, so everything's washed for new people that are joining in. I always advise, like, I do a lot of fast 15-minute healthy meals, and so I'm just sharing ways of how I do what I do, which is totally not at all professional, but I have picked up a few great tips along the way, and one of them is washing your vegetables before you put them in the fridge and making sure everything's ready so it's easy to grab them and start using them. So yeah, so we're starting off with pinto beans, and I did these were, I'm going to mash them down. Well, I did these, the whole thing, and we've done the House of Fur Baby doing Fur Baby's good. She's it's a maintenance thing now, so it takes a little bit of time twice a day to fix it. I'm only gonna go there just to fix it, and no, she's doing good. Thank you for asking. And Kimberly, hey, good morning. So anyway, we did a whole video on lectins, and the lectins that are in beans, peas, any legumes, even the grains, and how the lectins are the part that makes you have gas and bloating, and because basically the lectins make that food indigestible unless it's really soaked and rinsed. And so with the pinto beans, I did buy them dry, and I encourage you guys to go out and get some dried beans and rice and whatever kind of grains that you want, because I did do a post on one of my either this Facebook, I think it was this Facebook, my professional page, like the business page. There's a lady on there saying that we really need to prep for this winter, and I think she's got some pretty good points. I don't agree with everything she says, but seriously, You know, there could be a problem with your certain foods. I mean, if the world runs out of toilet paper, that's got to tell you that anything is possible. So buy some beans and rice and be prepared. So anyway, okay, so these beans, they were dried, and I put them in water yesterday morning. I put them in, and then you soak them for anywhere 4 to 6 hours. Rinse and soak, and if you can do that 3 times before you cook them, then that removes the lectins, which helps them to be easier digestible, which eliminates the gas and bloating that most people complain about when they have, when they eat beans or that kind of thing. Hey, Manek, hi, nice to see you on here. So anyway, I soaked and rinsed 3 times yesterday, and then this morning rinsed them off again, and then I put them in the Instant Pot, and then after they came out of the Instant Pot, I rinsed them again. I did not use the cooked bean juice. I know that we love that, cooking your beans and slow cooking them all day long, and I think if you've rinsed them enough, you can do that, and add your beautiful molasses or maple syrup or whatever you're going to do for your baked beans thing, and that's super awesome, and you can do that. But you will notice a difference, I think, if you cook them and then rinse them and then put new water in and then do your slow cook for the day with your molasses and maple syrup and whatever you're going to use for your baked beans thing for the day. So it does make a difference. It all depends on your digestive system and your how well your digestive system's working and how much you react, because people that react a lot have a digestive insufficiency, and so that needs to be worked with. Like if you have the optimum perfect digestive system, then you can handle it, and you don't need to worry about that if you don't ever get gas or bloating with beans. But I know some people that they have indigestion problems, which can be a variety of things and reasons, no matter what they eat. And so every time they eat, they get gas and bloated, and so that's got to do with enzymes, or lack of enzymes, I should say. It depends on the type of enzymes. There's all different enzymes to digest different things. Like there's amylase for starches, there's cellulase for, it flew out of my head. Amylase for sugars, there's protease for proteins. So there's all different digestive enzymes, and then you, depending on what you eat and how the acids are working in your stomach, you need acid to digest protein. You just do. So to take an acid when you're trying to digest a protein is it cuts off the uncomfortability, the uncomfortableness, but it does not help you digest your food. So to take an antacid when you're having indigestion actually stops the digestion and neutralizes the acids that actually need to be there to break down the protein. But anyway, that's a whole nother class and course, and I could go on into that in depth. Like I could just rattle on like that about hours about the whole digestion elimination. I used to do a lecture on that, and I think I have a PowerPoint on it too that I could we could do that. Anyways, okay, so back to the program. We have beans and pinto beans, and I just mashed them down a little bit, and so your pinto beans are going to be let me think about pinto beans. They're obviously fiber, obviously protein. They reduce cholesterol because they act as a fiber that goes through the digestive system, which pulls along with it all of those, extra toxins and things that can, that's a whole nother story too about how how fiber reduces cholesterol, but the fiber doesn't go into your blood and reduce the cholesterol. The fiber goes into your intestinal system, and then it bulks up and it removes all the waste, so that you are basically pulling the, cleaning the pipes and pulling the plug on the bathtub for all of the artery clogging things to be released. Okay, that's all I'm going to do on that, because that's a whole nother lecture too, how cholesterol works with fiber to how fiber works with cholesterol to remove cholesterol. It's actually through digestion and not through the blood, which brings me back to digestion and how important your gut biome and your digestion and your elimination is. So you have to have those probiotics and the good intestinal flora for everything to work. So oh my gosh, okay, so this is going a whole different way. Anyway, back to the beans. If I can remember what we're doing with the beans. Okay, so what we're doing. Okay. I thought I had another thing about the beans. But anyway, it'll come back to me. So I bought these. These are really awesome. I bought them at the health food store at Healthy Habits, and they are 100% white corn tortilla, basically. And so I thought it would be really cool. It would be cool to keep it cool today, because it's going to be super smoking hot, and make quesadillas. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to put together some of these, and they're a little hard to separate here without breaking apart. They seem to be, I don't know if you have to go at them at the right end. Okay, so let's get 3 of them out here. If I can do that without breaking them in half. They're kind of squished, but they are super fresh, and you can tell they're really good quality. Okay, so yeah, so I have the pinto beans here cooked, and we're going to just make these up and talk about the different ingredients. So I'm just going to, oh, you know what? I forgot. I was out in the garden watering. I always forget something, and because I do too many things at once. And I was going to get some kale to put on these, but I can always do that later. I'll just tell you guys, you should put some greens on it, like if you have a spinach or you have a kale or whatever kind of greens that you have. So, whoops. Beans on the floor for the dog. Okay. So, yeah, so just, you know, and you can just mash and use whatever. You can use refried beans if you want. Traditionally, you know, it is refried beans. And I don't know, you know, if they're pinto or whatever they are. I'm froggy again today. Okay, so with the beans, what I want to do is you should add vegetables to your quesadilla. Because it's really, really good to add vegetables, and as much as you can. So I am going to add carrots to them, and just kind of grate these on here. Oh, speaking of carrots, there we go. I knew there was a reason, something else I had to show you. So I'm dehydrating carrots, and this is, I just kind of shredded them with the little guillotine thing. What's it called? I'll think of it. Anyway, I need some more ginkgo. Anyway, so shredded carrots, so for dehydrating. And then this is really good to add to soups. If you're making soups and you don't have fresh carrots, which who knows, you know, what the way things are going. If you can't get fresh carrots at the store this winter, you might want to have some dehydrated ones on hand. And I also did dehydrated onions. So same thing. Because I bought those little packages. They sell them at Healthy Habits, those little baggies, and they have the little tiny dehydrated vegetables, which is a super great addition of extra flavor and extra vegetables to throw into your soup. And so I bought those little baggies in the past to add to the soups or whatever. Yeah, mandolin, that's what it was, the mandolin. I did these with the mandolin. Thank you, Kathy. And so, yeah, so it's really nice to just have a bunch of that. And Save On has, I don't have the bag here, but Save On has the big, I think it's 10-pound bags of the organic carrots for juicing. And they're really inexpensive. And so you can get 10 pounds of carrots, they're organic, and it's inexpensive. And or if you can get carrots at any time on sale, you know, for sure, throw them in the dehydrator, and it's super easy to do. If you don't have a dehydrator, you can stick them on a parchment sheet in the oven, and but you really want to keep it down around 125 degrees because you know, you don't want to destroy the nutrient value. And the dehydration is actually it's actually preserving the nutrition, and I mean way more than canned, for sure, vegetables. So it is really good to be able to do that if you can. Dehydrate your vegetables. I mean, if you guys are hanging out and not, if you've got the time, it's a good thing to do. So, and it also saves freezer space, you know, so that you know, if you want to have a bunch of vegetables in your freezer, then you can do that. Okay, so we're going to set that there. Actually, I'll use a few more beans. So, yeah, so this is really easy. You know, I've eaten a lot of quesadillas in my day, and I've been to a lot of places, and a lot of times it's just cheese, you know, and I don't know, it all depends. Like some places really add a lot of stuff, and some places it's just traditional cheese quesadilla. When they say cheese, they mean cheese. So what we're going to do here, because that's what I do try and stay away from cheese because I have this lung thing, and I tend to get congested. So I try not to do cheese, and because that's the worst thing that's going to make you congested is dairy. And that was one of the things, like, you know, 100 years ago, one of the first things that I learned was that if you are having any kind of cold or flu or congestion problems or anything like that, last thing you want to do is dairy, because it just builds up the mucus. So I'm not going to talk about that too much because we're cooking. But anyway, we're going to add some of the, I'm going to cut up some of these peppers too, and I had another plan for today, but I'm going so slow, we might have to do it tomorrow. Anyways, yeah, so I'm going to add some peppers too. What I was going to do today after this, but I don't know if we'll have time, was do pickled peppers. Pickled peppers, super easy. And another thing, right, if you get them on sale, it's a good way to preserve them. I'm going to take this like this, and I'm going to go like that, and just chop them up really fine. Yeah, so the peppers have vitamin C in them. They're really, I'm so excited that, you know, that I'm managing to get some organic peppers now. So be sure to watch for them on sale. And the, yeah, so they've got vitamin C in them. They've got vitamin A in them. They've also got fiber, right? So we always need fiber for the intestinal tract, as we, as I go on and on and on about that, and fermentation. And so, yeah, so it's super, super important to have that fiber to move things along and lower your cholesterol. Oh my gosh, okay, I just can get carried away on so many things. So I'm just going to add a few of these because I'm going to make more. There's 2 of us, so I'll probably eat 1.5, and then I'll probably need at least 2.5 more for dinner. So I'll just set this aside a little bit and add a little bit of the yellow pepper. I cut that smaller, and a little bit of this one. And yeah, so that was the other thing that we were talking about yesterday when I got stung, was putting lavender oil on it. But if it's and that worked really well, but if you do have an allergic reaction and you don't have whatever lavender oil, or you don't have, like, if you have an allergic reaction, you need something like Benadryl or whatever. I do suggest that you always, if you can, go to the health food store and get some homeopathic APIS. It's called APIS. It's APIS. And really inexpensive. They're the little tiny homeopathic no-sodes, and they will bring down the swelling right away. And it's an easy thing to carry in your pocket. You don't need like, you know, it's just a little thing. And so I keep that with me because I think I may have been telling you before, I was camping a few years ago, and a little boy got stung pretty badly, and he was really swelling up, and they didn't have anything. We were, you know, way out away from town or anywhere where there would be Benadryl or whatever they need. And I gave him the homeopathic no-sodes. You take 3 of them under your tongue, and within 5 minutes it started going down. And then he was still really, you know, his adrenaline was like, you know, through the roof, and so he was still quite reactive because there were so many stings. And so I did it again in 20 minutes, and then I did it again in 20 minutes, and then it completely went down and went away. So the nice thing about homeopathy is that there's no side effects at all. It doesn't matter whether you're on anything else, which is why I love homeopathy, because with herbs, I'm a certified herbalist, and I've worked with herbs for 25 years. You can't use many herbs, like hardly any, if people are on a lot of medications. And so, because there's the interaction, right, between the herb and the drug. And so you really need to know what you're doing. If you're going to, like, if you're on medications, don't go into the health food store and pick up something you read about on Facebook. You know, unless you know for sure what you're doing, or you've spoken to a herbalist or somebody, even a pharmacist that knows the reaction between the herbs. Like, you might think, oh, this is really good for my heart, I should go and get that. If you're on any kind of circulatory medication, and even many other medications, you can't take heart herbs. So anyway, okay, back to the homeopathy. It is really awesome because there's no side effects, there's no reaction, there's no contraindication, there's no, no conflict of interest there at all. So it's an awesome thing to carry with you. And also, years ago, I'm just going to put some pepper on here till I tell you the story about the next thing we're going to add. Years ago, we were in Arizona, and Arizona is full of things that will bite you, sting you, and scratch you. And you know, like around here, you can go out in the garden or out in, you know, and you can just dig through the weeds and and not have no worries about getting stung or bit or anything poisonous taking you down like a scorpion. And so anyways, Daniel got something got him, and his arm swelled up like a baseball, like within less than a minute. And so I was like, oh my God. And so in that case, there are other remedies, which I did have on them because that's what I do. That's what I carry with me. And so there are homeopathic remedies for snake bites, for spider bites, for mushroom poisoning, all kinds of things, every ailment on the planet, and probably more. And so I gave him homeopathic ledum, Ledum. And so that is for like some major insect bites. And you know, you could use it for spiders and all that kind of thing. So anyways, yeah, within, like, seriously, I gave him 3, and then we waited 10 minutes, and it kind of was like, I mean, it was huge. It was just huge. And so we waited 10 minutes, and then it was kind of sort of not really doing anything, but it wasn't getting worse. So then I gave him another 3 after 10 minutes, and then it kind of started to go down, and it had a big red circle around it and everything. It was kind of freaky. And gave him another 3 in 20 minutes, and then it started to go down, and the next day it was completely gone. Like, it kept going down all night, and then it was gone. So so homeopathy is something, you know, that you should have a homeopathic first aid kit. And so that's one of the courses that I teach, is just a few standard remedies that you should carry with you. And then and they're cheap. They're like $10 for a thing that'll last you probably, you know, I mean, they never expire. So anywhere from 2 to 5 years, you know, because there's a lot in the bottle. They're very tiny. So what I do is I teach the homeopathic course, and then I have your standard first aid kit that with standard things that we might run into, like those kinds of things. And then also we can custom create it to whatever your particular health predispositions are. So for me, I'm like super prone to food poisoning because I had it so bad once that it went into the Hall of Fame. It really did. It went into the health authorities. I had food poisoning so bad. And yeah, hi Julie. Yeah, no kidding. When you use a mandolin, I did say that before. Never, ever, ever, ever use it without the guard on, because yeah, it's a pretty scary, dangerous machine. Anyways, yeah. So back to the homeopathy. Yeah, it's a really good. Is that what I was talking about? Oh my gosh, I get. Sometimes I can read the comments and then just keep going. Nice. And sometimes I just really can't. Okay, so next thing we're going to work on is, and I do have a good knife here, is the avocados. Okay, so avocados are always a surprise. As we know, they are never ripe until they're too ripe, and it's always a surprise to see what you get. And this one's like half good. Okay, let's try. You never know, right? Okay. Oh, this one's all good. All good. Okay, so let's, yeah, I'm just, what I should do, Ashley, you know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this back on. And I did wash them. I just forgot to take the label off. But I did wash them in soap and water. And, yeah, that's our thing nowadays is to wash them in soap and water. Wash everything in soap and water. Lots of soap and water. And, oh, my gosh. Yeah, I'm going to put these just on two because Daniel doesn't like avocados. So I'm just going to put some slices on just to show you guys that that it makes it look really pretty. And you could mash them up if you want to mash them up and just spread them on there, which would be a really good thing. You could add them with the beans. Yeah, actually I'm just going to do it like this because I'm not going to use the whole thing. What I'll end up doing is I end up getting it all. I really do know how to do this. I'm just not, I'm distracted. So that's okay. There is no such thing as perfection where I come from. And they're slippery little things. Okay, so this is not going to be on the professional part of the video but then everybody knows I'm not a cook anyways. I just make healthy food however I make it, and I should take a cooking class sometime. Okay, so get your avocado on there however you want to get it on there. And okay, so your avocados, everyone knows they have the healthy fats. They have the healthy fats. They oh my gosh, they are what are they? Oh my god, okay, think. Avocados, they have the healthy fats. They are a really good source of fiber. They have vitamin C in them. They have potassium in them, and all that good stuff. So yes, so avocados, super good for you. Everybody knows that. So just kind of, I don't really care if it's evenly spread because it's nice to get a surprise bite now and then, don't you think? Like if you bite into something and then you're like, oh, this is good, and you're eating along, and then all of a sudden you get a surprise, and so a little bit of avocado, and so that's always fun too. So don't think everything has to be perfect, because one of the comments that came on that I really, really appreciated was that that I make people not afraid to try stuff and mess it up. So, and it's so true, you know, I'm actually quite surprised at the apprehension of people saying, oh my God, I couldn't do that. Well, obviously, if you're watching this, you know that anything can be done, and it's okay to try stuff. And I've said before, if it doesn't turn out, you can repurpose it. I mean, you could throw this whole thing in soup, and it would be perfectly fine. So if a meal doesn't turn out, it can always turn into soup or stew or whatever. You know, I mean, worst case scenario, compost, but yeah, you know, don't get all, I get a lot of emails and things about, you know, what's the recipe and what are the amounts and what about this and should I cook it like that? And I'm just like, you know, you're getting too, I mean, if you're going to be a professional cook, or you like to do things perfectly, then that's good, because we need people that are that organized and that, you know, that professional. That's the word I'm looking for. So yeah, but for here and now and what we're doing and what we do is just have fun making and putting together healthy meals and foods, and we try new things, and I love to experiment, and it's so fun to have you guys on here while I experiment and make mistakes so that you don't have to, or to make it okay that you make mistakes, so we can all do it together, and it's like so much fun. Okay, so we have our carrots, we have our beans, we have our onions. Oh God, you know what, I totally forgot, but that's okay. I can put it on. I don't want to run and start chopping garlic, but what we'll do is we'll just add a little bit of powdered. But when I make the rest of them, I'll just open it up and throw some garlic on there. So please do that. And if you don't have garlic, do this. So see, there's always another option. So this is a granulated, pure granulated garlic. There's no salt in this at all. And I will add that. So we also put a little bit of spice, some cayenne pepper, because we love things spicy. And if I had any spicy peppers, I would add that too. I'm just really paying attention here because this stuff is really quite potent, and these are just little tortillas. So, okay, and I didn't add, because there's no salt in that garlic, I'm going to add a Celtic sea salt, which I really love because it has so many minerals in it. It's a natural form of salt. And then here we have, you guys, this turned out, like, I had not done this before, fermented salsa. I had made salsa a million times, but never fermented it before. And oh my God, it was out for like 5 days, I guess, on the counter, you know, with the cover on it as it fermented. And then I tried it, and the trick with the fermentation of any of these things is that it'll start to bubble and it'll start to ferment, and then it will start to actually turn to vinegary, right? So like the fermented sauerkraut has quite a sour taste. So I don't want this to go sour, so after 5 days I tried it, and it brought out the flavor of the peppers just so concentrated and beautiful. Like, I just am so impressed that if you haven't tried this, you should really try it. I think we made this, well, obviously over a week ago, and I wish you could taste it, because it's just blowing my mind at how amazing the taste is. So we're just going to sprinkle some of this on here too, and yeah, we'll make more, and I want to do it with different other things too, so we can all do that together. So yeah, this stuff, it turned out just absolutely amazing. And you don't want to, I'm just going to add this to the other ones that I'm going to make, but you really don't want to leave metal in there at all, because of the salt and the tomatoes together can cause a reaction with metal. And so we don't want to do that. So what we're going to add now was, I was looking for something kind of cheesy. And since we want to stay away from cheese, we have a few options. We can add nutritional yeast, which I add a lot. I add a lot of nutritional yeast. Super good for energy. It's got potassium, calcium. It's got the B vitamins in it. Like, just really beneficial for the gut flora and everything. It's really awesome stuff. And but it's going to be kind of funny to sprinkle it on there, so I came up with an idea. Yesterday, we did this. We did a chickpea deviled egg. A chickpea deviled egg yesterday. And guess what? It's full of nutritional yeast and chickpeas. And so why not? Why not add the chickpeas and the nutritional yeast to the, and it's got garlic and all that stuff in it, to this. And then I've got my cheesy flavor. So, you know, it's always good to have that experimental mind open with, you know, looking around the fridge. Well, I don't have this and I don't have that. Then you can always go, hey, you know, why not? And I don't really believe in any such thing as that this wouldn't go with that, with certain things, because I like to experiment. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put this spoon in here, and I'm just going to drop this through as even as I can. And if I had thought about this earlier, which I kind of did and then I forgot because I have so much fun with you guys, I can't remember half the time what I'm doing, I would have spread this on first. So just a note for you guys. This could have gone like really first, but then we're going to get surprise bites too, right? So surprise bites are always good. So yeah, so you could have spread this on at the beginning, but I'm making surprise bites because I like surprises. Okay, so that's that. And with the next three, I might do that just because it's a little easier to dribble on. It's a little easier to dribble on, that's me. Okay, so, oh God. Okay, and this is cheesy. We made this a few weeks ago. The cheeseless Parmesan. Okay, so this is a dairy-free, plant-based vegan Parmesan, and this is just ground up raw cashews, raw sunflower seeds, and nutritional yeast. Again, the nutritional yeast. And so when you blend it, it is quite moist like Parmesan, and so that's going to add the cheesy flavor as well. And so you can see that this is not going to smash into a quesadilla as a typical, whoops, quesadilla. And I must have needed more on that one. And so this tends to happen with a lot of what I do, is that, you know, something that's supposed to be flat and small ends up being looking like something else. And I know you guys have seen this before for anybody that follows me and on my hundreds of videos on YouTube. But anyway, so you can do that, or you can do the diet cheese too. So whatever you want. And if you can, you know, if you can handle cheese and you can eat cheese, then you can do that too. Like I said, I try to stay away from it because it makes me just not good. It's just not good. I mean, it tastes good. I love it. But, you know, there's certain things you have to do for your health that you don't like so that you can do other things that are not good for you that you do like. Did that make sense? Okay. So, get a few of these out. Oh good, a few on the floor for the dog. Okay, so that's it. So that is the, yeah, we're definitely going to have to pickle peppers tomorrow. Pickle peppers tomorrow. Okay, so, you know what? I just happen to have I forgot to put away the smoked paprika from yesterday. So I just saw it there, and so it must have stayed out because it wanted to go on here. So a little bit of paprika on here for color. Why not? Oh, look at that. Whoops. Yeah, this was out for the deviled eggs. Whoops. There's nothing there. Oh my God. Okay. All right. So, yeah, so that's it. And I had so many things to do in the garden this morning that I didn't bring any herbal thing for show and tell, but I will tomorrow. And yeah, so I encourage you to check these things out. These little tortilla things, they're super fresh, handcrafted, authentic, 100% organic, gluten-free. They're gluten-free too, which is super awesome. Of course, most corn tortillas are. corn tortillas. Okay, so it must be time for me to get back out in the garden before it gets too hot. It's going to be a screaming hot day. So thank you guys for hanging out. It was really fun. And yeah, so this is a super easy meal to make when it's really hot like this and you don't want to turn the oven or the stove on. And so obviously incredibly healthy for you too. Okay, so we'll see you tomorrow at 11. And thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. And be sure to share and look at my Instagram and my YouTube videos and subscribe. Okay, bye. See you in the morning tomorrow. Have a good day.